Rello on the beat.
Cheers to the city of dreams. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the struggle we will all face. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the lessons we will all learn from. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the accomplishments we will all see. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the pain. Cheers to the joy. Cheers to the love. Cheers to the fun. Cheers to the hope. Genuine cheers. Cheers to that. Welcome to Genuine Cheers. I'm Dennis.
I'm Garrison.
And I'm Garfield.
And we here to talk about just a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start by saying this is my good friend. We went to college together, man. He's very motivational guy. This is his cousin, his business partner, and they doing wonderful things. So let's get into that.
Well, like he said, we doing amazing things right now. You feel me? We're from Brooklyn, New York. Like I said before, my name is Garrison. I'm a Team USA para-power lifter, a motivational speaker. I did a TED Talk. Also, I founded the organization with the Garrison Red Project along with my cousin right here. So go visit the GarrisonRedProject.org. We also started a clothing line called Endless Talent 3.
Dope.
I'm a model, a dancer.
I'm here doing everything.
And an advocate.
Jack of all trades.
And I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I gotta let that be known. And we here to have a good show.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Exactly. Cheers
Toast.
to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to black men doing powerful
Definitely
things.
making moves in this community.
So what inspired you, G? I call him G. What inspired you?
Yeah, that's what everybody call me, G. But on a corporate level, they want me to use
This is G and I'm G, baby.
Right now, I'm G. But on a corporate level, I'm Garrison. But what really inspired me, no lie, bro, a lot of people saw things in me that I ain't seeing myself.
Right.
See, like when I was in Kingsborough with you, I just thought life was about getting girls, having nice clothes, and finding a way to make money.
Right.
But then I realized, like, even with that, there's a lot of people in this world that do not have access to develop those skills in order to get girls, to dress nice, and to make money. So, especially people with disabilities, I just wanted to give them hope because they was coming up to me, DMing me, or coming up to me in the street, asking me why I'm so happy. And I'm like, happy? Everybody's supposed to be happy. That's something that you're in control of, being happy. So once people started coming up telling me that, I was like, and at the time I was working, I'm like, I don't know, I might have to follow my passion. I might have to take a risk and just take a leap and just be someone that could be impactful for the community.
Dope, that's dope. And cuz, what inspired you to get with your cousin to
Well, I'm always with him. I'm 3 years younger. So pretty much around the time when he was finishing up at Kingsborough, I was finishing at high school. So I'm young around him. He got me around girls. I'm chilling with the homies. We going on vacation. So I'm actually sitting back taking notes. I'm taking notes. And pretty much anything that he wanted to do, I'm supporting him. So he's like, yeah, I got this idea. I want to do, I want to open up have our own little organization. I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Yeah. We ain't never did nothing like that before. We don't know nobody who we could connect with personally who did that. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it and see what happens. The worst thing that could happen is
we fail.
Yeah, and that's not even bad.
That's not bad. We from the hood, so it's like if you try and fail, at least you tried. And you get it. That's an achievement in itself, just for trying.
Lesson.
Right.
Exactly.
So G, if you don't mind me asking, how did you end up in the wheelchair?
Well, I grew up in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn, New York, and what a lot of people don't understand is like things happen every day that's not reported on the news,
right,
but it's real. So I got shot in my back when I was 17. I was outside on an ordinary summer night. Somebody from another neighborhood, I guess, I don't know, they were trying to prove their point or whatever, trying to get some stars behind their back or whatever the case might have been. And they was sent and they shot at me and 6 other friends that I was outside with right on Ralph and St. John's.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that got hit. So up until then, all I did was play football. So it's like, life throw you lemons, you gotta make lemonade out of it. So that's pretty much it.
That's inspirational to me.
Yeah, that's how I got in the chair though.
So do you feel like crime is at an all-time high in the black community, and what can we do to change that as young black men?
Crime in the black community has always been a significant issue. It's just that the news don't bring light to it as much as they would bring light to if a serial killer go in and kill like 8 kids in a classroom in Florida.
Right.
But every day there's innocent black individuals that are outside living their lives and they're victims of crimes, especially due to gun violence. So I think gun violence is an issue, but people just don't shed light that it's real in the black community. And at the end of the day, like when I started the organization, one of the goals is to empower people, to let them know that y'all so much better than what y'all are. If you want to go shoot at why would you shoot at your friend when you could join the army and shoot at a real enemy and be considered a hero to your country?
That's dope. That's dope, G.
At the end of the day.
And what did when he got shot, what did it do for you? As being his cousin, being the family, being his blood, and just how did you take that?
I mean, around the time I was young, so I didn't really, like, I was like 14, but I didn't really understand like too much about it or whatever. And then when I visited him in the hospital, he always had good spirit.
Right.
Like how he was before he got shot and after, he always been. So it's like, to me, like, oh, he good.
Right.
He alive, he good.
Right.
So it didn't really bother me too much. It just it kept me going.
Right.
Like I never was sad at anything. He got more energy than me. The most energy in the world.
And honestly, that's why I love this guy, G, man, because G do more stuff than people that's walking around than anybody I know. He's all over the place.
He's like a lot of people on their feet.
And he will walk again.
Yeah.
I promise you that. I can put my life on that.
There's no excuses, you know, there's no days off with this. That's why I love D, by the way. Because I remember like 10 years ago, before he started this show, he was going to be a comedian. I remember that. And he told me, like, I ran into him downtown. This is after Kingsborough and all of that. This might have been like 09. You probably don't even remember this.
I remember.
I think I ran into him downtown or something. He's like, yo, pull up at my show. Like, yo, I'm having a show. I'm going the comedic route. And that inspired me. Things like that inspire me. You don't even know that. But like, just hearing someone say they're going to go after their passion made me think in a different state of mind. Because like, I was working at the IRS. I hated that job. It was the worst. And I'm like, yo, I gotta chase my passion. So I think about people like you, like, yo, I'm going the comedic route. Let's go. I think it was on St. John's you had your show. This is like 10 years ago,
I've been
bro.
trying to do everything, man.
So I respect it, bro. I respect it.
But yeah. And let's hear more about your educational route. You went to Kingsborough. I know you furthered your education too.
I'm gonna tell you the cold crazy thing. When I was in Kingsborough, the first day I didn't know anybody in Kingsborough. Mind you, I come from like Brownsville, up the hill,
right,
like Crown Heights area. But I
Tell
moved
us a
to
little
the
bit
east.
about Brownsville.
Alright, Brownsville is where it is. So when people ask me about like my powerlifting aspirations and everything, I'm like, yo, I've been strong. I'm from the hood. Like the Ville is where it go down at. Like everybody here, like it's not something to glorify, but like a lot of my friends was like 13, 14, and they just telling me about stories they had on Rikers Island.
Right.
And for a child, you like 13, 14, I'm hearing this at such a young age, but they always like, yo, you gotta get strong.
Right.
Like, yo, people gonna come home, they gonna try you, even though you outside, you don't get in trouble, but these are your peers that you grew up with. They on a different type of time at this point. So I'm like, all right, let me get strong. You know, I started doing pull-ups because I played football and stuff like that.
So is it safe to say Brownsville made you the person you are today, for better or for worse?
It is
your balance.
It is safe to say that because at the end of the day, I learned so much things growing up in that community.
Right.
That I was able to translate to the business world.
Right.
Such as just different things on how to conduct business, how to be on time, how to, you know, when you make deals, you got to make sure it's not only fair for you, it's fair for the person you're making a deal with. Just things of that nature that subconsciously you feel is like second nature, you really don't think about, but you develop just skills like loyalty and stuff. But the whole crazy thing, the irony and everything is, I was one of the smartest people like in New York City when I was like between the ages of like 10 to 14, I would take citywide exams, score 99.
Man.
Not even 95, like 99.
I remember the last thing I scored 99 on.
And growing up, I was in a lot of gifted schools where a lot of my peers at that time, mind you, I'm coming from the hood, I'm going to these different areas and different communities and neighborhoods where it's more affluent than where I'm actually from. But a lot of my peers, I went to junior high school, it was 2 classes, and most of the peers in my class went off to Cornell, Harvard, Brown, schools of that nature, very prestigious,
like
mostly Ivy League schools on the East Coast. But I'm in the hood, so I'm not thinking of how intelligent I am because I'm just not thinking in that aspect until I went to Kingsborough and I saw how I could perform under pretty much being, in the collegiate level.
Right.
And then I started getting like 3.5 is my GPA, straight A's. I think the first semester my lowest mark was like a B-.
Okay.
And I didn't go to school for like 2 years because after my injury, I took 2 years off from school. I got injured in my senior year of high school. So I didn't go right to college.
You took some time.
Initially, I took about 2 years.
To heal.
Yeah, exactly. And just to get acclimated with society because I have a new ability. I've been running, walking, and I've lived my life running and walking, playing football, being outside, going to Elks, going to Empire, dancing, stuff like that. So I had to adjust, and in that adjustment period, I went to Kingsborough, and that changed my life. I tell everybody, Kingsborough Community College changed my life forever. That's it.
Y'all just got to plug, Kingsborough. Y'all just got to plug.
Forever.
Cheers to
Free promo right there.
Cheers to my brothers, man.
Holla at me.
But yeah, that's good, man. So we got G here doing wonderful things in the community. He didn't let his disability get him down. He's still going hard. He's doing everything, man. Everything you can think of, he's doing.
Movie theaters, commercials, you name it, you seen me somewhere.
No cap.
I put my stamp on it. We jacking that.
So let's get into why most black men, well, in the eyes of society, fail or fall short. Why do you guys feel like we fall short in just society, just with incarceration being high, with drugs, or just not being, or leaving mothers single, going to jail, and just different things of that nature. Why do you feel like we fall short?
It's done for many things.
Yeah, it's bigger than us.
I would say, due to some fact, a lot of black communities is heavy impoverished.
Right.
The moral, how you supposed to be, like your morals, is gone. So a lot of them is survival. When you're trying to survive, you doing anything and anything. So that means you'll harm a person. You wouldn't necessarily harm somebody grandmother, somebody anybody,
whatever.
Because you're trying to feed your family, so you're gonna do whatever it takes to. So you got that plays a part of it, and I feel that in the black community, we don't take mental health serious.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of.
We don't take it serious. We don't have enough resources to know how to handle it, and financially, we don't know how to handle it.
Okay.
So, along with other stuff I probably can't think of top, that plays a part of why a lot of, because there's a lot of guys that I see potential that could be great, be multi-millionaires, billionaires, but they end up convicted felons and fall victim to the street. And you know what I mean? You got a lot of them, they lose their lives, mentally and physically. Where, you know what I mean? You'll see them, but they like zombies. So they could do a lot better, but they ain't gonna do a lot better. And a lot of them, the subconscious, if you used to doing negative or seeing bad, you're gonna be comfortable with that going forward. You ain't gonna wanna change. It's gonna be hard to change and adjust. Some people able to do it, but some, they're not.
It's kind of hard. And I'm be honest with you, it's very hard to change your life because you're so, how can I put it? You're pretty much put in a bubble or a box. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you know of this too, and you got friends of the same nature, you're put in a box all your life, and at a young age, 13 is not old. I could honestly say through life, 13, 14, 15, you're still a child. Right. You're not capable of making your own decisions, and a lot of time in the black community, these individuals have to make real decisions, real responsible decisions that can help other individuals or be a cause in other individuals' lives, such as their brothers and sisters. and they're the sole provider, where they gotta feed the family, things of that nature, where you're putting
life on the line.
yeah, basically, you're put in a box, you're put in a bubble where you don't have too much options. And that's when I worked at the Internal Revenue Service, that's what I realized. That's why I had to leave there, because it was like, I'm seeing how society works and how America works. America doesn't want anybody, especially, I hate to say it, the black individual to prosper. So they want to put these things in line, such as laws, regulations, things of that nature that come second to us, but it's intact to keep us in our place.
Right.
So we can't move forward. We can't go after what we, desire and like whatever our ambition takes us. It pretty limits us.
So do you think that we need to stick together? Do you think it's lack of unity amongst black men? Or do you feel that we're just lost?
I think the black man needs an individual that they can relate to.
Okay.
And that's that. And when I realized that, that's when I said I'm gonna be more proactive to talk about the things that go on in my community and our community in general. Me being an individual that wants to be the mayor of New York City, for one thing is like, I want to let people know what really goes on in the urban community.
Right.
We have a lack of opportunities that it's not our fault that we have these lack of opportunities, but I think it is our fault that we don't go after achieving the better opportunity.
Okay.
Because the information is out there. It only consists of us reading.
Right.
Researching on the internet, just putting in a few keywords. And each day we could spend 15 minutes to put in those few keywords to do something that we desire, that we're ambitious towards, and that's gonna make us a better person. So once I realized that, that's why I try to inform individuals and educate individuals on avenues they can go about in order to achieve these things, in order to get into these programs and things of that nature.
Right.
Which is very important.
Dope. So, more around that, what should we be doing? Well, what are y'all goals for 2020? What are y'all looking to do? How are y'all looking to advance? How are y'all looking to better yourselves?
Well,
And
first I'm gonna leave my job.
you want to leave your job?
Yeah.
I left mine.
I want to leave my job.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do bigger, but I can't. I spend like probably 8 to 9 hours there. Those 8 to 9 hours, I could have been doing something productive that could help me.
Right.
Everything I'm doing there is to help them.
Right.
And I get a little piece of the pie,
So you
whatever
not-
money they give me.
You don't feel like your job is fulfilling to you,
No,
to
it's
what
not.
you're trying to do further.
I'm better than the thing is, no disrespect to my job. I appreciate. I'm better than that.
You
I'm bigger
appreciate
than
the
that.
opportunity.
I appreciate the opportunity, but I know my worth and I know I'm better than that.
Right.
I know I could provide something that can impact others.
Okay. So
Exactly.
you feel like you can do more
Way more.
with the time that you have in your day.
And that was the thing with me.
Right.
I was working, and mind you, I had to wake up at 4:30. I worked all the way in Long Island. I had to drive typically on an average 45 minutes to an hour and a half just to get to my job because it was 40 miles away.
Okay.
So imagine what I could do with 12 hours out of my day if I'm really trying to make an impact on people. So that was the purpose of us starting the Garrison Red Project, to help individuals, especially children with disabilities, overcome that adversity. And that's our vision. So when everybody asks our vision, we trying to bridge the gap between people that's doing proficient things such as, prospering and affluent. They grew up affluent, living great lives, with individuals that wasn't awarded the same opportunities.
Right.
That way each set of individuals can learn from one another in order to make this world a better place.
Right.
Because that's a lot of things that goes on in this world is due to a lack of understanding. And I realized that from questions as people that used to propose to me, like, yo, how you do this? And I'm like, if you knew how it was to be an individual that's disabled, you will understand how I do certain things, because at the end of the day, it's lack of understanding, like I just said. So I try to make that understanding come together.
Dope. That's dope. So for 2020 and on, what should be the goal for us as people, male and female, as just black females, black men in general? What should be our goal going forward?
Well, let's start by becoming more health conscious.
That's
As far as our mental health
Cheers to that,
and our
man.
physical health, we want to be more health conscious to begin with. The reason being is because a lot of times people don't speak about mental health. And a person could be going through a lot of stress at the particular moment, and we are unable to identify it because we just don't understand mental health. Typically, when our parents growing up, if we did something wild or something we were supposed to do, our parents called us crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And we gotta stop that, because crazy, when you think of crazy, you think of somebody that's unable to control themselves. A lot of times people are unable to control themselves. They're dealing with so much issues in their head that it just comes out, and it may look to you as if they are crazy, but they're not crazy. They just trying to express themselves, and that's just a different form of expression, whatever they, pretty much let out.
So we need to check our mental health and get that in order.
Mental health
There's a lot of
first.
people dealing with that they're not.
And don't be
aware.
ashamed, and they shouldn't be ashamed.
Right.
We make it to a point where people are uncomfortable.
Cause I know I got a few mental things going on.
Yeah, I got a few days that go by my head. A few days I want to just punch somebody in the face when I wake up.
Exactly.
But then I gotta be like, yo, Garrison, you're sane.
Yeah, and there's certain things that make us stressed out and depressed, and we don't talk about it as black men. I know I never talked about
That's
it.
probably like the
I
biggest
never
issue.
talked about it.
That's probably the biggest issue. Like growing up, you seen that you want to be. They want you. Growing up, you're taught to be like the macho man.
Right.
You're supposed to hold your tears and be this tough guy and all of that stuff, and that take a toll on a lot of
It
dudes.
takes a toll.
I mean, a lot of dudes lost their life because of that.
Right.
A lot of dudes
Real
lost
talk.
their life because of that.
You go outside and you might make the wrong decision because your mindset is not in the way it should be at the current moment.
Right.
So mental health, I think for 2020 is very important.
Mental health.
Physical health is second.
Physical health. Yeah.
I mean,
Why is physical health so important?
I think physical health is so important because physical health is like the gateway to all the stresses. So if you could figure out a way to physically be healthy, I think it would help a lot of other things as well, because your self-confidence is boosted.
Right.
Your self-esteem is boosted. There's things in the brain, I forgot the exact term, but once you work out, they are initiated, and it makes life a lot
like
easier.
endorphins in the
Endorphins,
body.
there you go. That's the word I was thinking
I know
of.
a little something.
I didn't want to mess it up.
I had hooked on phonics,
So,
but I know a little
yeah,
something.
like I said, once those endorphins are released and things of that nature, it can make your day so much more wonderful and prosperous. So I think mental health first, and then second, physical health. Because it's very important to be healthy.
And what would you say third? I'm gonna let you answer that.
You answer that, bro.
I would say communication.
Communication.
And I'm talking
I like
about
that.
from a very young age.
Man, he got a good turtleneck on today. I need a shot.
Pop your collar right
I'm gonna tell you
quick.
something. One thing I do, I like to observe, and I'm very analytical. I observe how black people are with their kids, and white people. When I'm on the train going to work, I see.
We not racist.
Not
we
racist.
Just
No, we
talk
just
about
observing.
We're just talking about observations right here.
Yeah.
I observe like a white person that have their kid. Their kid will probably have a book. They don't have no device, no type of device,
No phone.
no nothing. If not, they're engaged in a conversation, heavy conversation that the same like we are having, and they're very articulate. Mind you, these are very little kids.
Right.
So, and one thing I always say, kids are very you always say, oh, he's so smart. No, you're underestimating them.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, you're underestimating.
Yeah, exactly.
A child can obtain a lot more information than an adult because they don't have no stress, they don't have no responsibilities, no nothing.
Right.
Another thing now, I see how black people are with their kids. They either give them some type of device to keep them quiet, or they always screaming and yelling at them.
Right.
So I'm like, it's like, I see it's like,
Yeah.
why is it always
You
like
see the
this?
difference.
And I think back as a child growing up, there's a lot of things that you did that was bad and you probably got punished for, but if it was better communication,
Right.
you probably would never did that. you had a way better understanding. As far as like, you know, your parents would tell you not to do this, but did they tell you why not to do it? Did they break it down why not to do it?
So communication
is very big. It's very big, and they gotta start from young. Cause now as you get older, one of the biggest issues is communicating. Like, all right, you probably having a bad day, rough day, right? You probably running the streets doing whatever, right? You going through your pain. I just happen to make eye contact with you.
Right.
What the fuck you looking at me for? It's a big issue.
So it could escalate real quick. It escalate real quick.
Due to lack of communication.
Right. Lack of communication. Then you got a lot of situations where it pop up in the news. This person was a shooting, this, that. They ready to give you all the details on their past history, but you don't know this man mom's probably got cancer. He on the block hustling, trying to get money.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things going on with him. You don't know what's going on with him, but he trying to pull through, and unfortunately a situation happened, and then boom, and then the news.
And none of these things was made aware up until a point where he committed whatever he did or did whatever he did. Yeah. But it could have been diagnosed so much earlier.
Right.
And that's the problem, I think, with the society nowadays. They consider, they give the, I hate to say it, but they give like the white community one type of standards and they give the black community another type of standards. And the reason why I say that, because whenever I tell someone I got shot, the first thing they say, was you in a gang?
Well, what was you doing? Yeah.
But if it's a 6-year-old girl that ends up on the news, and particularly a white community that gets shot, they don't think the kid was in a gang or anything.
Right.
It's just, oh, there's a serial killer, there's crazy people out there. Yeah. So why couldn't that same assumption be made in my particular case, or in the case of many other African American males that's out there in the world that are victims of, you know, horrendous crimes? That
so there's stigmas against us.
Stigmas,
yeah,
exactly.
Stigmas against us that there's not against.
And we gotta work on breaking those stigmas. And I think we are at fault for a lot of the stigmas because what we talk about, especially in the music, we talk about black on black crime in the music. So why individuals can't talk about less crime or put the crime in a way where little kids won't think of it as something that's cool?
Right.
Like, for instance, like we go on the topic of snitching. Snitching is not cool, typically in the urban community.
Why do you feel like it's not cool? Why do you feel like snitching? If somebody kill, like what makes it right to snitch? If somebody kill an old lady.
All right, if somebody kills an old lady and that old lady, you saw that old lady get killed, that's at your discretion where it's right or wrong. Me personally, if I seen an old lady get killed, I might, if I seen it, like I think of my grandmother. Like if I saw my grandmother get killed, I want somebody to speak up about my grandmother being killed.
Right.
There's no reason my grandmother does anything. She does nothing to deserve to be punished, or deserve to be killed at the end of the day.
So I think snitching.
So people gotta understand that, like, there's a level, like, that's not snitching if somebody's grandmother get killed and you seen it. That's not really snitching.
It's also how you define the snitching.
It's how you define it. So in the urban community, people are unaware of how things are made up, like, how things go about. Like, it's just so confusing. So I think adolescents are really confused and don't know what's right from wrong at the end of the day.
Another thing, I don't feel like praised or not. As much as bad the young ones do, I love them to death. And I don't like to hear, oh, this generation, but who raised the generation?
Who raised the generation?
Where it came from?
Who gave them pretty much their ideologies and things of that nature?
Some of the people in the older generation, I see them doing some of these things the young people doing. I'm like, where you think they get it from?
Right.
You giving them the green light to do this.
Right.
So those, like, you know, it's just a difference. And I noticed the difference. So I noticed, like, how we was brought up and how my peers was brought up, because now I'm in like the corporate arena where individuals tell me things and they be like, they never had an experience such as like what I've experienced in my life. So when I talk about me getting shot, they're like, how you so comfortable talking about it? I'm like, honestly, the wheelchair is like a purple heart in urban communities. Like, if you got a wheelchair, you good. Like, yo, we know you good. You don't got no beef. Yeah. You're all right. But that's an urban community. So then people ask me how I get so much confidence, because in a corporate community, individuals with wheelchairs aren't as confident as I am.
Right.
Or individuals that's trying to go like whatever they trying to do or whatever they trying to achieve aren't typically as confident. I'm like, yo, when I'm in the hood, everybody like, yo, G, you better go
Work out on.
You see the vibes. You see the vibes right here.
Knock me
I'm
out.
number 2 in the world right now in powerlifting.
Number 2 in the world, man. Number 2 in the world. So how'd you get into that?
Yo, it's so crazy, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. When I was in Kingsborough, I was not even with none of this stuff. Like, I ain't know nothing about playing sports in a wheelchair, none of that.
Right.
I thought it was corny, to be honest with you, because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna play a sport. I'm not getting paid. If I break something, like, how does that work? Like, I can't go to work if I break something. I can't go to school if I break something. And who want girls with 2 broken arms? Like, you can't even move.
Right.
Like, how this gonna work? Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. I was in the gym one day. Mind you, I was just going to the gym just to clear my head and release those endorphins and things of that nature. And some guy comes up to me like, yo, you could be a Paralympic athlete. I'm like, word? I was like, yo, I'm gonna let you know from rip, I can't do nothing when I'm a team player, because I get mad when somebody shoots when I tell them not to shoot, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So it gotta be something individual where it's all about me. So he's like, yo, come out to my wheelchair football practice. I'm like, wheelchair football? I'm gonna fall on the floor, bro. Like I just told you, it's team sport. I can't do that. He like, nah, just come out, I'm gonna introduce you to some people, blah, blah, blah. He introduced me to the president of the Wheelchair Sports Federation, which John Hammer, and he's been an integral part in my rise. I ain't gonna even hold you. He don't even know that. But John Hammer put me with some dude that was at the Armory. I'm telling John, like, yo, I played football, I'm the best. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this to be the best. I'm from the hood. Everybody gonna be like, yo, did you win? And if I tell them I came in second, they gonna be like, you lost. So at the end of the day, I went to mind you, I'm going to Armory. He like, yo, you could play wheelchair track or field sports. Like throwing shot put, javelin, and discus. I'm from the hood. I'm like, I don't know what you talking about, but if you think I could do it, I'm gonna do it with you. As long as the person I'm doing it with is like passionate and dedicated to make me the best in the world.
Right.
I was going to Dykeman every day. I'm from the Ville, East New York, taking the train. Sun not showing up, bro. I'm going every day, sun not showing up. So now I'm on my bully. I'm like, yo, John, what's good? Like, you sending me to Dykeman. I'm from the Ville. This don't even rock like that. Why would you do that? Now I'm feeling, he's like, nah, I got you. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm gonna put you on the best wheelchair track team in the nation. They're gonna teach you how to compete, teach you how to do what you gotta do to get you at that level.
Dope.
So I'm going out to Jersey every Saturday. I'm like, John ain't lying now. They giving me Nike equipment with my name on it. Making me feel
free
smart.
Send me some of that Nike and some of that
$3,500 racing wheelchairs. They like, no, let's get it.
Yeah, I put my man on them dubs.
So I'm doing the wheelchair racing. I'm doing the shot put. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
But I can't make it to the Olympics or Paralympics. You feel me? Doing that because there's people that's better than me.
Right.
They got some nice.
And they've been doing it for 30, 20 years, 15 years. I'm
veterans.
Yo, I won a gold medal at Rio. I've been doing this for 12 years. I'm 23.
Talking like it's light.
Yeah, like.
I won a gold medal too.
So I'm like, yo, Jimmy, like, yo, what's good? He's like, yo, I'm gonna put you in this powerlifting meet. It was Memorial Day weekend because I couldn't go to Miami, I couldn't go to Cancun because my life was just turning up, popping bottles, having fun.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not gonna go. He's like, I'm gonna put you in a powerlifting meet. How much you weigh? I'm like, yo, I weigh like 140. I don't know. I haven't weighed myself in years, but because I go to the facilities, like the medical facility, they don't have a wheelchair accessible scale. So I'm like, I'm 140. I look big. I get there, I weigh 120. And I'm able to lift 250. They're like, yo, you're the best in the nation. Where you been? Like, why you not lifted?
I have a hard time lifting my ass up out the
Mind you,
morning.
I was just going into the gym for my t-shirts to fit nicer. You know, I want my t-shirt, my arms to look big and all of that. That's the only reason why I was going to the gym.
So you was trying to get your shit.
I ain't gonna even lie to you. The only reason. Yeah. Once they said you the best in the nation, I'm like, I'm about to smoke everybody. What? So then I go to the gym. They flew me out to Colorado Springs, the Olympic training facility. I'm going through there. They giving me a tour. They like, yo, that's where Michael Phelps sleep. That's where what's that? Gabby Douglas. They like, yo, Gabby Douglas be in the dorm over there. The gymnastics. I'm meeting the gymnastics team, the boxers, all of that. I see Terrence Crawford. He knocking people out up in there and all of that. So I'm in a powerlifting gym. I weigh in like 123 and I'm able to lift 275 and everybody like, yo, you about to have a great career. And I'm like, great career? Like, but I'm from the hood, so at the end of the day, when people telling me this, I hear about stories like Jay-Z and just rappers talking about like how funny things started happening in their life and they left whatever they was doing behind altogether and just started focusing on what their passion was and what could make them an impact on the world. So at that point, I was hooked. Once I made it to the Olympic training facility, I'm like, people coming up to me like, yo, can I take a picture? We doing a tour right now with my family. I'm from California or whatever. Right. Can I get a pic with you? That just opened my eyes and just opened my head up to just so many other opportunities that I'm with. And I'm like, I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn, and I'm out here with everybody. Like, I could go far. So I just stuck with it. Right now in January, I got a qualifier for World Championships, and then from World Championships, well, after the qualifier, I'll go to World Championships in Colombia, right. And then after Colombia, the world is mine. As long as I come in top 7 in the world, then I can put on for Brooklyn for real. You know, film me in Tokyo or wherever I might be, but I'm gonna put on for Brooklyn. That's my goal, and to show everybody that it is possible. You just gotta keep going. Adversity is nothing but something to get over. That's it.
So what we learned today from G is I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, let me see your arms. When you going to the Olympics, bro, you can make it. I be seeing you with the bike. I be like cycling and all of that.
Yeah, bikes is easy, but
cycling.
What he doing is amazing, man. He's motivational. He's doing a lot. He didn't let his disability stop him at all. He's doing way more than I'm doing. Yeah. G is the fucking Superman. Put the cape on my man back.
Yeah, man. I've been looking for the cape. Every time I do something, I be like, yo, y'all don't got a cape for me yet?
Like James Brown.
Yeah, like I'm really doing this. Yeah. Like I like people talk about it, and I appreciate, I like when people talk about what they want to do, but it's nothing better than to actually do it. Yeah. And to actually have people say, yo, I saw you, why you didn't tell me? Right. That's a better feeling than for you to tell people like, yo, I'm about to do this, I'm gonna do this, this, that, and third. A lot of times, only 10% of the things you talk about is only gonna fall through in life. I'm gonna be honest with you, only 10%. That's not a lot. That's 1 out of 10 of everything you talk about. Only one thing is gonna fall through. So be very specific on what you speak about and what you want to happen, what you want to manifest. Because when I told people I was going to do a TED Talk, I didn't even know what TED Talks was. I just said I'm going to do it. And I only had an iPhone. So I went from, and then I think about it in context. In 1 year, I went from taking videos on an iPhone, telling people about my life, to having 30 people, production crews to film me, for me to tell them about my life for less than a minute, which Google did. Man. And I ain't do that in Kingsborough. So think about that, bro. Think about where you're gonna go with Genius Chairs right now.
Shit, you got me thinking about a whole lot.
Yeah. So where you at right now is not where you're gonna be tomorrow. And I didn't know that until I really started getting out there in the work. He could tell you, we didn't know that.
We didn't know that. There's a lot of stuff we learned on the way.
We learned.
To the point that is now is like, yo, we want you to do this, that, and the third. You may not know how to do it. All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna research, we're gonna do our homework, and we're gonna figure it out. And that's that.
I wish my man Bills was here right now, because he's like the next up. Like, I see it in him, the same hunger that I saw in myself. I see it in him. So with that said, it's like, it's a lot of things that we have that we don't know that we have. And it takes someone else to see that you have what it takes to get to where you need to be. So what I tell people, every time I speak to them, whether it's a corporate speaking engagement, a school speaking engagement, or just talking casually amongst my peers, is that you gotta be very certain on what you manifest into the world. So don't speak nothing that you're not certain about. Don't speak nothing you're not passionate about.
Words is very powerful.
Words is powerful. Before I even compete in the sport, D, I ain't gonna hold you. When I made my mind up, like, yo, I want to be an impact on my community, I said I was gonna be a Paralympic athlete. I wasn't even on Team USA. I ain't played not one sport, bro. For me to say that and to be on Team USA today, it shows you how powerful words are. Yeah. So be careful what you say and stuff like that. Because
and don't forget, you gotta put that work in too.
You gotta put that work in, cause I ain't gonna lie, there's 24 hours in a day. You only need 8 hours to sleep. So make that 16 hours very prosperous and very lucrative for yourself. Mm-hmm. But if you don't make it prosperous and lucrative, don't take it as an L. Learn something new. Fail. I tell everybody.
It's a L. It's a learning experience.
I failed so many times. I failed. Like anything I do, I'll fail, and then that's how I succeed. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. This was a very enlightening episode for my black brothers who doing powerful things in their community.
Facts.
From G doing his thing, and with all adversity, not letting nothing stop.
Don't let nothing stop you. You could be a dancer too. So I am.
Hold on, let me pour a little bit because you don't.
Yeah, pour up. I don't stay empty.
We got red, white.
Come on, I'm training. January, I got a qualifier coming up. I gotta keep this six pack together.
Jesus drunk wine. We gonna drink one. We gonna cheers. I'm gonna cheers to my brothers. To the things we didn't know. To the things we did know. And to the things that we will find out.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having us.
Man. Cheers to the struggle we will all face. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the lessons we will all learn from. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the accomplishments we will all see.